what's up, y'all? It's your girl Normani. Just in my interview on the Zach Sang Show, we talked about everything from how I got my inspiration to creating my Wild Side music video with Cardi, my mom, who I love so much, and how resilient she is and how no illness could keep her away from being here in the most pivotal moment of my career. And also me allowing myself the freedom to be the best version of myself and also to evolve and be in the now.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Hello, beautiful human. My name is Zach. That is Dan. And we welcome Normani to the studio.
My guys.
We were just saying it's your fifth time on the show, but this time seriously feels different. The energy's different. Even the way you walked in was different. There's a different air to this. I don't want to say new era because it's a debut era still.
Right.
Is it weird to think that we're still in the debut phase of who
Honestly,
you are?
that's exactly how I view it. And I feel like for the first time, like motivation aside, I always said that people finally got an opportunity to see what I was capable of, but not necessarily really tapping into who Normani is as an artist. And so to answer your question, like I think that it's fair to say that this is the beginning of the era. For sure.
What do you learn from motivation and Love Lies and that just you figuring it out? What do you take with you as you move into like what this debut album is going to sound like, look like, feel like? Because you create art for all senses.
Thank you.
That's fair to say.
Thank you. I think for me, knowing that I'm such a visual artist, like that is the mentality that I have when going into the studio. Anytime like I speak to producers, I speak to songwriters, like I see the vision. I literally see the music video. I see the visual. It's a gift, like before I even create the record. I know how I want to feel. I know what colors I'm wearing. Like I see it. So I'm able to tap into it. And that's how it's able to be reflected, I guess, sonically, you know, like even in terms of sound selection. Like I've been wearing so many different hats, bro. Like I didn't know that I even could before. Like I've learned how to produce in terms of my vocal production. Like I'm heavily involved in that. And I've taken complete ownership over every single aspect, to be completely honest.
Is that freeing or scary?
It's so freeing. It's liberating because I feel like sometimes when trying to explain to somebody, right, like the way that I understand it is even just like sonically, like, okay, this is how I want to feel. That could mean something totally different to you than it means to me. Yeah. So for me to finally put out a body of work where people are like, bet, I get it. I see it. I feel it. You know, and I feel like it's just an amazing opportunity for me to be able to just like showcase the best parts of me. You know, I feel like for so long I will admit, put out records that I didn't like wholeheartedly believe in. And that comes with the territory when you're like in an entity of something, you know, but I can appreciate the pivotal and I guess like career defining moments that those moments gave me to lead me here. Like everything I feel like happened in divine and like perfect order to lead me here. It's pretty profound.
When you look at the journey, it is profound. It is rather incredible. I mean, even how the group and everything was formed, like this, none of this could have happened.
Right.
But here we are today with Wild Side, but, you know, different from Motivation.
Totally different. I'm going to ask you, what difference do you see?
I mean, I think, honestly, I think sonically, one is inherently brighter and different than the other. But also, I think from an art, clearly, I can see how visuals started both records. Does that make sense? Because your music video is the song before the song is the song.
Right.
And it's the same way with Wild Side. Like, I feel like it's weird to think that, like, but I get how a video could come before, like seeing it could come before the record, or like visualizing something could lead you to figuring out what it sounds like.
Exactly. And that's been my process.
So
that's been my process.
How does that start? How does that process begin?
I mean, sometimes it's as simple as a conversation. I think for me with this record in particular, like I knew just based on everything else that I had on the project, I wanted something that made me feel like sexually liberated and free. I'm 25, like I wanted something that represented just femininity at its ultimate. And I really just wanted the opportunity to show people like I'm owning it. It's crazy. I always say that I'm such a tough critic on myself, and the way that you guys are able to experience me isn't the way that I'm able to experience it for myself. So I'm like, God, please just like allow me to see myself in your eyes. So for me, it's an expression, and it's just like, for the first time, I feel like I'm looking at something and I'm like, okay, bet, I get it. I'm able to witness it the way that you guys witness it in the moment. Because normally it takes me a long time to process. Like after Motivation, I really don't think that I understood the impact that it really had in the moment.
The cultural impact was pretty high, dude. The gays loved it.
Until like months later. I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
So what happens in your life that the light switches that you're able to understand what a song has done for society or culture?
I mean, honestly, that's all a part of me just making the decision to not just be so freaking hard on myself, to be completely honest, and nitpick things. Because even with this visual, down to the wire, the night that it was releasing, I'm like, dang, but I wish that this could have been different. Like, but like, this wasn't perfect. I'm just such a perfectionist that sometimes it literally, it allows me to stand in my own way, which is bad.
Did you have problems with Motivation after it was put out into the world?
Yeah.
Like what?
I didn't want to release it.
Why?
At all.
So what was holding you back, and what actually pushed you to do it?
I mean, I didn't have a choice. A lot of money was spent. Let's start there.
And so once the music video is done, do you not want to release it? Or do you go up to music video phase?
Well, it was to the point where, okay, so I was performing for the VMAs, right?
Yeah.
And in order to perform, I had to release the record because it had to be released like 2 weeks prior. So
You needed something out there.
So I was kind of forced to.
Okay.
But I'm glad that it did force me. It's like this always happens. My back is always up against the wall, and like I'm forced into a corner where it's like, I have no choice but to give it to the world.
Looking back, are you happy it came out, or do you wish?
No, I'm absolutely happy. I'm proud of what I did, for sure. I'm absolutely proud of what I did.
What do you learn from that moment that you like? Even though to you it wasn't exactly perfect,
yeah,
but it's still, I mean, that performance at the VMAs, I remember so many people talking about it. Like the cultural impact was still so high.
Yeah.
What do you take anything away from that, or do you still wish like you had the opportunity to just tweak a few things?
I mean, I feel like honestly over the pandemic, like as awful of a time as that was, like I needed to be okay with not being perfect. I feel like coming into my own solo endeavor, there was which amazing response. Like everybody's rooting for me, but with that comes like a little bit of pressure to rise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to the occasion and to deliver. So I think that I was so focused on rising to everybody else's expectation on top of the expectation that I already have of myself, which is incredibly high, that I just didn't allow myself room to make mistakes. Like I feel like sometimes people forget that I'm also a new artist. Yes, I'm seasoned, but in a way I'm a new artist because I'm my own entity.
That's
you
it.
know?
You've never made music on your own.
I never stopped to think, okay, what would my sound like? Like that is tough, especially coming out of a girl group that you've been in for so many years and being told. Not that you wanted to be told, like we begged to have creative input, which is now what I have. And with that comes obviously responsibility, and like it's very, very freeing, but it's like, yo, the possibilities are freaking endless.
They really are, though.
Yeah.
And now you're in. I remember you, the last time, or maybe the last time you were here, you were in the editing bay with the editor, editing the music
I was
videos.
editing this one too. Yeah.
Can you tell me
with the colorist on Zoom?
Hell yeah.
What went into this video? Because there's like 30 outfits. There's 30 different like
30
locations. Like
outfits.
what went into putting this whole thing together and how long did it take?
Lots of preparation. We were in rehearsal for about a month and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it's pretty choreo driven. It's heavily choreo, like heavy choreography.
It's exquisite.
Thank you. And especially for the boy section, which is what we call like the boy section, because it was different for me. Like the intention was for me to be able to push myself and tap into a different pocket. You know, Motivation is very femme, hair flips. Like I wanted to tap into like Chris Brown, Usher, Sierra, like a boy vibe. Like I wanted to do something different, and I typically don't. That's not my pocket. So the fact that I did and pushed myself, and I feel like I looked comfortable doing it. I'm proud. I'm proud of that.
It was like you were born to move the way that you were moving. It was fluid, but also the moves seemed like they're gonna like attach to culture in a way that like TikTok trends out the ass.
Yeah. Oh, I'm encouraging. I'm like, y'all better grab your knee pads, grab your water bottles. Shoot, ladies, extra sports bras. Get it together. Like let's do it. And that was the whole point. I wanted to force them to get active, you know? Like I come from a totally different, I guess, era or generation of like dance.
Yes.
I come from competitive dance. I've studied under Brian Friedman, like the best.
Is that, I mean, that's a big part of who you are as an artist, obviously.
Exactly.
So when you find a new pocket or you tap into something new, like, I mean, what does that feel like? But also like, do you feel like you need to step it up the next time, or have you?
Yeah, I always gotta outdo myself.
That's it.
Always gotta outdo myself. That's exactly what my mindset was going into this. Motivation was the last thing that you guys had.
But it was good.
I'm like, I gotta beat that. This has to be that times 1,000.
Do you feel like you've done that?
Yeah, definitely. And it's different too. Like when I appreciate motivation, but like I said, like listening to this record, you can even hear just vocally how I feel like I'm owning it a bit more. Like I sound like me. I play it for my friends and the people that know me outside of how you guys see me, you know, like they're like, oh no, this is you all day, like up and down. That's all I wanted. Like above all, I wanted to just be represented. I wanted to be seen.
Can you ask for anything more?
So, did you have a vision for the video first and then the song came, or which one came first?
With this, the song actually came first,
okay.
And Tanu, she's actually from Ukraine. She is a goat. She did Call Me. She did the Call Me video.
Okay. Oh,
yeah, the Lil Nas.
With Nas X,
yeah.
Huh.
She did that video, and then she did Cardi's
Casual.
Up video as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
But all like, whoa. I mean, there's a lot of work. Like, does she come to you with this concept of like the different colors? Like,
well, I create my own mood boards.
Okay.
Me and my creative director, Maxime, like it's a bunch of creative conversations. Like I send things that I see like on Instagram, like in Tumblr. I'm just very, like I said, visual. And like I want it to feel sexy, but I want it to feel like dominant and empowering, and there's power and masculinity too, so like darker colors. Like I wanted it to be the complete opposite of what Motivation was, to show people how much range that I could actually have and prove to myself the range that I'm capable of moving in between.
do you put on, like, do you just play the song on repeat while dressing this mood board? How do you come up with what you want?
I play the record, I make my mood board, I send it out to my creatives, we talk about it, and we talk about what the goal is and what I want people to feel.
And what is that?
While listening to the record and while being able to see the visual. I wanted timelessness. And just the same way that I look at Aaliyah videos, the same way that I look at Missy Elliott videos, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson videos, I wanted it to feel timeless, and I wanted to outlast me.
And by the way, that's all I could think about when I was watching, was that this is a forever video.
Yes.
But it's also, in my opinion, could be a forever record.
Wow.
You have a sample on here. Is it an interpolation? Is it a sample? I mean, regardless, you're paying tribute and homage to Aaliyah.
Yeah, one of my favorite artists of all times. I always say that the moment that I felt moved by music, it was that whole era, which is why I'm typically stuck in the late 90s to the early 2000s, obviously, with Motivation.
But the best era of music.
The best era of music. I mean, and the feeling. It's the feeling of the record, which is why I feel like out of everything that I've ever created, like, I'm like, no, this is the first. And it wasn't the obvious, you know? Like, for me, I was even in my head, I'm like, no, it's supposed to be this up-tempo thing, like, super high energy, motivation, but like times 10, you know? But this record, literally, it was a unicorn. It landed in my lap. Like, I had a conversation with Stara, who is like a big sister to me. Like, I trust like her to no end. And she just, we had a conversation and she's like, bet, I got you. And we created it from the ground up.
When does Aaliyah and 1 in a Million come in? Is it after you have the lyrics? Are you crafting lyrics to that?
It's before.
It's before.
Yeah. So the production, like, drum pattern is there.
Got it. So then you build from that.
You build from that. And then everything else kind of just forms after it. Once the lyrics are there, it's produced out. I just knew how I wanted to feel.
Got it.
The mood of that. The tone of it, the energy, the essence, the way that it makes you feel. I don't know if it makes you feel like that.
I feel
Does
sexy.
It make you feel like that?
Yeah, and I haven't felt sexy in a while.
That's
dude.
what I wanted to capture. Because I feel like I've never expressed that. And it's so important to me because there's such a double standard.
Got it.
Obviously, I remember being in Fifth Harmony when Work From Home came out and people were slut-shaming us.
Literally. I mean, it was like they wanted to throw holy water on you. It was a huge deal.
So.
But it's amazing how society has changed, though. What's the difference? Why is this video seen differently than that one?
I can't answer that for everybody else. I don't know. I think that we're just honestly probably in a different place socially, which is why I love the City Girls. I love Cardi. I love just all the women winning right now. And it's like, I can be who I want to be. I can be sexually liberated and fulfilled and not be called a whore or a slut. Like, there's power in my femininity and I should be able to express that.
Hell yeah.
And I feel the same way.
It's inspiring to those around you. Yeah. Truly.
I love, like, when the WAP video came out, I'm like, yeah.
I felt free. I mean,
you felt free, right?
Yes. Dude, there is something. I mean, I also think that, like, we're in a weird time. Everybody's been so closed off for the last year and a half. Yeah. We're about to go into the roaring 20s. Things are about to be nuts. I think it's gonna be crazy.
And I always say, like, I wouldn't have landed here if I dropped my project when Motivation came out. I know that. I needed time to play. I needed time to experiment. Like, I'm like a blessing to work with, but I know that I'm also hard because I have a vision and I'm always willing in the studio to, like, go the extra mile. And, like, I love to experiment. I love different sounding, like, sound selection. And, like, I'm very inspired by Early Tim and Rodney Jerkins. So it's just like.
Come on. So is the project done around Motivation time? Like, did you have something ready to release around Motivation time?
I had my album's pretty much done. I'm looking for one more song to complete the project.
When did the album start?
I mean, I've been working, like, over the course of the last 2 years.
Will anything from the Motivation time that you were creating stay on the album?
There's some records, yeah.
Cool. How many songs?
14.
That's the same answer you gave in 2019 when we asked you that.
That's how you know. I'm like, I'm very structured. I know that.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's like I said, a blessing and a curse, which is why releasing this is just like, you worked really hard. Like, let it be. Sometimes I have to tell myself, like, you're good. Just let it be.
How long? When did you finish the song?
This song was actually done during the quarantine, like 6 months.
Wow.
ago. Yeah.
And
the first time, it was so immediate. I was like, yes. Like, it I don't try to like overthink things in terms of like, oh, what is this gonna do? Like, what's this song gonna, like strategically like that. I mean, yes, that's also important, but for me, it starts with the feeling. How does a record make me feel? Because the same way that it makes me feel now is how I hope that it makes me feel in the next 20 years, which is where, to your point, timeless.
So is that what you're looking for with every song you do?
Yes, which makes
it's
it very hard.
But you know what? I think that's the right strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would you release something that you don't want to last forever?
Exactly. And something that I believe in, like I said, in the next 20 years, the way that I believe in it now.
That's it.
Now, at what point in creating Wild Side did Cardi get on? Was that a plan from the beginning?
That was not. I knew that I wanted to do something with her, but I was already in rehearsal for 3 weeks for the video.
Okay.
For the music video.
Really?
We'd already been in rehearsal, and I called her stylist because he's also my stylist, Colin. Love you. And I was like, yo, like, we got to figure something out. Like, this link up has to happen. Like, there's no other way. Like, it just has to happen. There's no option. And he was like, okay, well, like, is there a particular song, like, that you want to send her? And he was like, actually, she mentioned Wild Side. She was like, is it that Wild Side song? Is it the Wild Side song? Because I posted the clip like 2 months ago.
Let's go.
From a 15-second clip. And I remember she tweeted my mom. She was like, she's like, Mama Normani, when is We Can't Just Keep Talking About It coming out?
Yo.
Yeah, she tweeted my mom. I feel like she manifested it, to be honest, before I even like thought that this would be the record, like I said, sometimes in my mind, I have, even in terms of my features, like I'm like, okay, bet this is what I want from me and this person. Like I feel like this is what I would love to see from us as a fan.
Yes.
And it was really God, because this record was just supposed to be me alone. Would have never thought in a million years that she would have wanted to be on this particular record. I'm thinking like it's R&B, it's slow, it's chill, it's vibes, like.
Yeah, but
and she was like, no, I need in on that record. That shit's hot.
I mean, what a time to be alive, where Cardi B is essentially manifesting and asking to be on your record.
She turned it around in like no time at all. I got the master the day before we shot the video.
But you were already in rehearsals for 3 weeks, so then you guys had to go back in and switch that all up?
Yeah.
Wow.
And go back, have budget conversation about adding a whole another scene and set.
Oh my God.
Build. It was a lot. It was a lot.
But it paid
off.
We're here. It paid off.
It did.
It was worth it.
It was definitely worth it. Oh my God, I was pulling my hair out, guys. I really was. But I'm like, I can breathe now.
At what point can you breathe?
Today.
So
yeah, my baby's been born.
It's been out for not even 24 hours. It will be 24 hours at midnight on Saturday. So you like,
can you feel the impact it's like already having?
My phone. I haven't processed it yet, because I just feel like I haven't stopped.
But like, you're trending, Cardi's trending, Aaliyah's trending. Like it's taken over everything.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that people are saying that I'm inspiring them, other artists, my peers that I respect.
It's well deserved.
Lost for words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate that for me, because I'm always like, me?
Hell yeah.
I think people always believed like it's Normani is it, but they've
Yes.
just been waiting for like what is it, and now it's finally here.
Exactly.
It's finally arrived.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm stepping into that and believing and finally being able to recognize, like I said, and seeing myself the way that you guys are seeing me.
Yeah.
For myself.
But that's hard though, because you, and you also know this version of you that you've created off of you.
Right.
And it's hard to look in the mirror. It
you know
really
what
is.
it might be? I think for so long I've always felt like, I'm the underdog. Like, I feel overlooked in so many moments where I could have given up on myself, like, really. And I feel like those experiences I kind of project on myself even now. So I'm like, in what world do people that I looked up to respect what I do and like hit me up and say, yo, you're super talented? Like, in what world does Janet say, kid, like, you're talented? In what world is Beyonce like, you're proud? I'm really proud of you.
So what made you feel like
Your
the
world.
underdog? If these amazing people are coming and saying you're it.
I mean, I think it's even just prior to,
Yeah.
you know, like whether it been being a part of a team of gymnastics or like dance. Like I just always felt like I had to work twice as hard as everybody else just to be like
noticed.
Hey.
But the truth was you never needed a team. A team needed you.
Mm.
Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you being the captain of the team is the right thing. Because let's be honest, like it still takes a team to put together everything that we've seen, correct?
Wouldn't have been possible without him.
But you run it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Yeah.
They're there for you.
Right.
They're not necessarily there to compete with you at all.
Right.
They're there to bring your vision to life and make it better. You work together for each other.
Right. Right.
It's totally different. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
James, you owe me a soda.
No, I'm just like, I'm really proud of myself. It's deep.
Should
It runs
be.
really, really, really deep.
What do you mean by culture reset?
Culture reset, meaning everything that I do, like I don't strive to do anything that has already been done. You know, like I want to change the way people approach a song going into the studio. I want to force radio to
sound different.
You know, like I feel like for me this is my version of R&B. This is Normani's spin on what an R&B record means to her, you know? And I just sonically I want to hear something different and innovative, and like I said, a cultural reset I feel like is going to force people even visually to create visuals differently and actually put time in. Like I love artist development, and I feel like sometimes that's like lack because things are moving so fast. There's like records coming out every week, and it's like, okay, like I gotta keep up, you know, but there's never really time to like stop and develop. And I feel like me working on this for a month and a half, like that's how it should be. That's how it was back in Michael's day. That's how it was Janet. Like, I'm telling you, I studied the greats.
Dude, it wasn't
I
just,
studied the hell out of them.
it wasn't just putting out records to put out records to make money. It was putting out art,
Right.
again, to
To
last
last,
forever. Yes.
to outlive you.
Do you think R&B has been a genre that's been very present and very active over the last year or so?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I think that R&B is honestly like at the forefront right now. And it's like back in the early 2000s, R&B was pop. So it's like I don't ever want to really label myself. And like I said, to me, this feels like it has the essence of an R&B record. But I think that there's so many, it caters to everybody.
Is there pressure or even more nerves incorporating Aaliyah into this record at all?
That's always something I think about because obviously, like, I'm compared all the time. But I felt like the record was strong enough to be able to feel nostalgic, but also feel like I have ownership over it. Like, it's in there and it's like, okay, this makes me feel that same thing One in a Million made me feel, but
it's different.
It's original.
Yes.
I felt like it was original enough, so I didn't like really stress too much over it.
Did you know that when this song was done, did you know this was going to be the song that was going to come out first?
No, I didn't. Until I was just like, but why not? Like, this is hot. It's fire. Let's put it out now.
Yeah.
And that's a different approach than I would have took before. Like I said, I was waiting on that, like, which is probably obvious, more obvious. You know, this for me was not obvious at all.
But it's those moves that end up working. Because the truth is, like, maybe if this came out on a project, it maybe would have gotten overlooked or whatever.
Right. Definitely wouldn't have had the visual that it did.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have been a single. It wouldn't have gotten a budget. And the visual, again, absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Like, I've watched the video 3 or 4 times now. And
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight. I haven't watched it since it came out.
How many times have you watched it over the past like month or two? Oh no, you said you've been editing.
That's why I said I can't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Literally, like post production, Jay. It was y'all, every day, all day, watching the video, different cuts, different colorings, different here. Oh, but did we make the right decision? Like, should we take this clip out? Like, it was a lot.
Do you have a favorite like outfit or scene or location from the video?
I feel like a fashion girl when I'm in the helicopter.
Yeah, I wrote
love
the
that.
helicopter down.
I love that look so much. And then aesthetically, I think just overall, probably where we're outside with the black on.
Oh, yeah, and you're all there doing the moves?
Yeah.
Sick. And the freaking shoulders?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it captures that 90s vibe and aesthetic. Like, well, it takes you back.
Dude, I felt very Missy.
It's futuristic, but it's also, like, the past. All in one.
All I kept saying was nostalgic, but present. Nostalgic,
but present. Yeah. It gave you Missy?
Yeah.
Mm.
Dude,
I agree.
She changed my life.
She changed my life.
You don't know me, but I love you.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but were you dancing with yourself?
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
How? I guess you can't reveal the secrets.
A magician doesn't reveal.
I'm gonna ask you, how do you think that I did the sliding section?
I don't know.
When I was in the purple outfit.
I don't know. I have to.
So the guys are behind you, right? I don't know. What were you not really sliding? Were you not even laying down? Were you like?
Were you being
I
pulled?
was sliding.
What was it?
I was sliding.
Were you on a conveyor belt?
Like one of those little moving things at the airport, little moving sidewalks.
That's a conveyor belt.
Oh, okay.
I was not on a conveyor belt. But I had knee pads on.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I was actually sliding across the floor.
Let's go.
Yes. Had to practice that a
You
lot.
did that yourself. No movie magic?
Let's just say I actually did put in work.
Got it.
It had nothing to do with the camera. I wasn't just like, I was actually moving across the floor.
Mama slid.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there? What's the hardest?
Look at you still thinking about it.
I'm still thinking about that. I'm also thinking about how you're dancing with yourself. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this.
Yeah, because at one point your legs intertwine with one
Yeah,
another.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was like,
It's really phenomenal. It's a great video.
Thank you.
no, I do have a question, and maybe I'm just too dumb, and I don't know. But like, what does Cardi mean when she says I can suck a watermelon through a straw?
What do you
believe me?
Are you kidding? I mean, that's
Explain it to
a
me then.
life goal of mine is to be
Explain
able to suck a watermelon through a straw.
No, is it?
I mean, I got work to do.
Yeah.
Um,
I got work to do.
That's. I mean, you really don't understand that?
I mean, I like get it, but like,
Wait, do you get it?
I mean, like, I get it, but like, I don't know if I fully get it.
You
Like,
don't-
you're good at sucking. Yeah, I get that part.
a
But like,
watermelon.
That
is
means you're
big.
damn good.
Yeah, you're the best at it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
If you can eventually suck a watermelon through a straw,
I'm like, ouch, that hurts.
yeah, your ears are popping. The suction is crazy. Like it's you don't get that.
I mean, I get it, but I don't like fully get it. All right, you know what?
Okay,
I get it.
Do you get it?
I don't know if I fully get it.
Let's see.
I mean,
The right person, you'll get it.
yeah, you'll be like, wow.
The right moment, you'll get it. Right experience, you'll get it.
Okay, I get
Let's
it.
talk in a few.
I get it now.
Okay.
Do you? What do you like? What goes through your head when you first hear Cardi's verse? Like,
I wanted it all. Yeah, I said make it as nasty as possible. You know, because I feel like it's only that she can say.
yes.
And I wanted that. Every girl is thinking it, so I'm like, I want that on this track. This is that space. Let's go there. I can't say I would probably suck a watermelon through a straw.
But why not? Does it not give you?
I mean, I can, but like,
It's different.
it's different.
It hits different when it's Cardi.
You believe it when you know what I'm saying. Like it's she can talk that
You can actually see her
for all of us.
Amen.
So
And you really
that's
can
what I wanted.
actually see her sucking a watermelon through a straw. Like I really do. Like
Can you?
I mean, like the physicality of like a watermelon
What do you
and a
see?
straw.
Oh,
And
okay.
Jesus.
What do you see?
I love her.
I love her so much.
What is it like when you're because you guys had to be really close,
We had to
right?
be really, really close. She was pregnant.
So yeah, the hair was covering it.
She was pregnant. That's why she was turned around the whole time.
on the chain pole
Yes.
thing.
Initially, like I wanted us to be suspended by the chain, like, but that was chalk. That was dead.
She's growing human.
Yes, and the fact that she even made the video, I'm like, thank you, God. I'm like forever grateful because I don't know what it's like to be pregnant. I'm sure that that's a lot on the body. Also, nobody knew.
Wow.
So there was a possibility, you know, like she really trusted me. She trusted my team. And I'm like, I'm really, really forever grateful for that. But we were really, really close.
That's a lot of trust in that
We had
bond.
a lot of oil. Wow. It was us and the baby.
For hours, it looked like you had to have been up there for a while, right?
2.5, 3 hours. Yeah.
You're really close to each other for 2.5, 3 hours.
Oh yeah, we were very intimate, and we could not stop laughing. We could not stop laughing. I'm like, as sexy as we were, like every time the camera came on, but when it stopped, we just bust out laughing. It was very intimate. It's very close.
Well, I mean, you guys were very close and intimate on the album, or the artwork too, the single artwork.
Yeah, we were.
Were you guys together
Everything
for that?
was so naked. Yeah, yeah, we were
so
together
naked.
for that. That's what I'm saying. She was a trooper. We did, when we shot the press photos and the artwork, we did all that in the one day. And it was a very, very long day. And she was a trooper. She was tired. I think that she felt nauseous. So the blue, did you see the blue photos that we,
Are they the press photos?
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that was the last thing that we shot. And she was like, I feel nauseous. I gotta go. But then she was like, no, I'll be fine. Trying to push through, and like she's the real deal,
a real professional,
and it's because she believes in me, and she was so excited, like she's just as excited as I am, like she was more excited.
that has to feel the best.
Yeah.
Like to know that like somebody like that is not only joining a record but really leveling up a record, heightening up a record,
Yeah.
but also wants to be there for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
It wasn't just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hop on this record, like
No.
I will hop on any other record. You know, like her heart is in this. I'm telling you, her heart is really, really in it. And that's all that I could have asked for. Like, for me, that's beyond. That's priceless. Like, you can't pay for that. Like, she's genuinely one of the best people that I've had the pleasure of working with. And she made it so easy, the process, no complaints. Like, she was just down for everything. In terms of the artwork, she was sending like references and like ideas. And it was just very, very collaborative.
Someone
Very
who
collaborative.
genuinely wanted to work with you.
Yeah. And was excited because she loved the song. She's like, this is hot. Like, I feel like this is going to be huge. I'm here to support, you know, like even with some of the posts that she's been posting, like she makes it about me. Like, she's like, this is Normani's birthday. Like, it's your coming out. Like, she's amazing. I love her so much. I love her.
Debut album. Do you have a date in mind?
I hate being asked this question, but I know that it's only right. Definitely towards the end of the year.
Got it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm looking for one more, and I know what that one more is. I'm not going to tell you, but I know what that one more is.
So do you know what it is because you have it, or do you know what it is because you can see it already?
I know what it is because I can see it, and it's the only thing that I feel like is missing.
Got it. So is it going to add to the 14 and make it 15? Or
It's going to add to the 14.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, are you confident that you're going to find what you need?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Would you say Wild Side sets the tempo for the rest of the album?
Definitely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely going to be a range sonically, but the tone, it's darker, it's sexier, it's sensual. Like, did you guys expect this type of record?
No, I was expecting something like
More
a motivation type
Right.
song. Yeah.
Right.
But I was pleasantly
I'm like,
surprised.
this
I
is
loved it.
me
Yeah.
for the first time.
You know,
I feel the
I
feel.
did see you pull up. I'm going to share this. I'm not very good at this double screen thing. But I saw you retweeted this one. And I was like, what happened the past few years that was so tough?
My mom, she was diagnosed with breast cancer over the pandemic.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah. And so this project really is what got all of us through, like my whole family. her being in treatments, I mean, on FaceTime with me feeling guilty because I'm not physically able to be there. One, because I couldn't because of obvious reasons, the pandemic. And also her just being adamant about me completing my mission.
You know, one of the things I said was every time you've been here, your mom's been here.
Yeah.
Your mom is hands down one of the most supportive parents I've ever come in contact, ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
when you see me, you see her.
Every time.
Every time. Yep.
Just to be away from her must have been hard.
To be away from her was hard. But to be away from her during a time like this where I know that she needed me and I couldn't physically be there, like I said, was awful, and it made me feel helpless in a way because I just felt really guilty. I'm like, what am I doing here? When my mom is sick, anything to do with my family, I'm like, music, I gotta go home. You know, and this is her second time going through this too. She was diagnosed when I was 4. So it's just like for her, and I don't mean to say out of all people because I never wish this upon anybody, but like my mom is, you know, she's such an amazing person, but it's one of those things where we can't really make sense of why bad things happen to the best people. And so this project, I'm telling you, like it brought me through that. It saved me in many ways.
And knowing how supportive your mom has been, she truly, genuinely, probably really needed you to finish this project.
Right. That's what I'm saying. This is what got her through. This is what got her through chemo. This is what's getting her through radiation. She's almost done. Thank God. I remember being in doctor's office with her and her just being like, baby, don't worry. Like, I'm going to be okay. Mommy's going to be okay. I'm going to be right here. When you release everything, like I'm going to be here because I have to see all of our hard work. Like I said, since the beginning, my mom's always been there.
Yeah, like it's our hard work. It's very nice.
So was there times during this that you didn't feel motivated and your mom was like, you could come on.
Absolutely. I'm like, what am I doing here? I need to go home.
Yeah.
I need to be with you. I need to make sure that you know how beautiful you are. Even like people, I think, underestimate, like as a woman, the things that make us feel like a woman are being totally ripped from us. And now I'm in a position where I'm like fighting for my life. Like this was a blessing. It really, like I said, saved us.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah. I mean, but like even the tone of the song, I mean, like the liberation, the freeingness of it, but like so.
Is your mom like the first person you share everything with when it's done, or like, you're working on a new song?
My mom's normally the person that's here.
She's there with you.
Yeah.
She's normally here.
Wow.
And thank God she was able to be. She's like, I'm not missing the artwork shoot. Like she was there. Didn't feel well, but she was there. And with chemo, it's very, very hard on the body. There's been moments like she felt really nauseous. Her hands would hurt. Like it would hurt to put shoes on. Like it really affects the body. But the fact that she, for me, got up out of her bed, also flew from Houston, Texas here to see that the artwork was right and that I'm lit, my baby's lit well, making sure I have the right undergarments, like
just being the mom that you need.
Mm-hmm. Even for one of the photos I just posted, I had him like done, right? Like obviously I had him like a little bit researched or whatever. And I said, Mom, can you fix this one thing? I need to post it now. Like I need to be posting all day. And she's like, I got you.
She does it.
Yeah, she does it. Sends it back in 5 minutes.
With all this stuff that's gone on, how does your definition of success change? Has it? Like, what does it mean to you?
My definition of success right now in this moment is to just level up. To be completely honest, I'm not in competition with anybody else. I'm in competition with myself. I want to be the best version. And I always, more than anything and before anything, I always ask God, I'm like, just let me reach my full potential. What you called me on this earth to do, what I was born to do, what my purpose is, just like let me let me reach that.
You were born.
I don't want to fall short of it.
You were born to do this, you feel?
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think you're proving that to yourself and the rest of the world.
Thank you.
Final thought, Daniel? You good?
I think we covered a lot of it.
Normani, I appreciate you with every fiber of my being.
I love you guys.
Forever and always. You are really a superstar. And you create timeless art.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks
it
for
with us.
supporting me. Like, it's scary after 2 years. You're like, do people still like me?
They do.
I was actually going to ask, like, is there a reason you waited the 2 years?
I think it was one of those things where I ended up waiting because I was too in my head, and then it's like, well, damn, I waited this long, so
Whatever
whatever comes out has to be
Yes.
The best.
So it was kind of like, I did wait this long, so extra pressure.
It's really interesting because, like,
Yeah.
as time goes on, people anticipate.
Right. Exactly. And I just, like I said, this is a release for me. This is therapeutic for me. And it's changing me in a miraculous way, like from the inside out. It forced me to not be so critical. Yes, it's okay to be a perfectionist and want to be as close to perfect as possible, but that doesn't exist. I have to allow myself room to grow. I have to allow myself the freedom to grow, even if I feel like I don't necessarily get that from other people. Like in the beginning, especially, it's like, who does she think she is? She's not the next such and such, or like, oh, such and such would never, like, like just all of these things where it's like them comparing me to artists that have been around for decades, which is a compliment that you would even consider. But in the same breath, I have a 15, 20-year career ahead of me, and I'm going to continue to evolve each and every time I come out. So I'm proving to myself more than proving to everybody else and focusing on the rest of the world. I'm just going to get better and better and better and better and better and better and better.
It's for you, and then it's for us.
Mm-hmm.
One last question is, out of the 14, potentially 15 songs, how many music videos do you plan on making?
If it was up to me, I would have a visual album. My label would be very upset. They'd be like, girl, where you think we're going to get this money from? Honestly, so we're not even going to consider that. Probably, I would say in my perfect world, I would love to have at least 5.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yes.
And when that project is out, we'll discuss how you determine which songs are worthy for a video and which aren't.
Yes.
I appreciate you beyond words. Normani, everybody. Spectacular. Yay. Hey, beautiful human. Thanks for watching our full interview, but I get it. Like, a full interview is a lot. So we got a clips channel. We don't expect you to watch the full thing anymore, so we just gave you the highlights. Please subscribe and notifications and all that stuff. Okay, cool. I love you.